Dave Snyder here. It's December the 11th, 2013. And you want to know what I would like to see on YouTube? I would like to see people talking about the truth of this planet and looking at and seeing what I'm seeing. I'd like to see people looking at the same thing, trying to figure. I mean, I see all these things, people trying to figure out Planet X, Nibiru, all this stuff, and I'm telling you right now, unless you already know this, you may already know this, and you're just looking for what causes it. Okay, but I'm telling you right now, if you do what I say, remove, re, uh, overlay the moon over the Earth, and make it about 5 times bigger, and overlay it over the Earth with the flipped over images of the moon, you will see in the weather, on the Earth, in the land, all over the place, the lunar impacts on the Earth. I'm not wrong. You may think I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong. So just check it out. I'm not gonna. I mean, I get frustrated sometimes, and right now is one of them times when I want to see people talking about this on YouTube and figuring it out, because you're not going to figure out Nibiru until you figure this out. The way I see it, you need to figure out what happens first. What happens to the Earth when these things happen, and then you go work in reverse to find out what causes it to happen. Okay, you got to figure out what happens and then why it happens. Okay, if you don't know what happens, it's kind of hard to figure out how it happens. Okay, what causes it really? If you don't know what was caused to begin with, you understand me? So you have to look at the Earth like this. You have to see what's going on here. It's a bigger picture. Okay, continents have been moved around quite a bit, and there's a lot of land running over other land that goes together, like the Himalayas, like I've showed before. The Himalayas and the Tibetan Plateau and this area of Australia go together. I have seen in the weather, with my own 2 eyes, Australia's outline right up here in the weather. So I bet you, I don't remember exactly, it was right up here somewhere. It was the exact outline in the weather of Australia. I brought Australia up there and it fit perfectly. So I know that those 2 areas were together. Okay, and the impacts point that out most of the time to me. I mean, the weather did that time, and the weather does that all the time. Weather will point out stuff all the time. I've seen Florida over here in this area in the weather, and I already had Florida in this area before I even seen it in the weather. You understand me? I already had Florida overlaid over here in the position, and I've got a video up about it showing it. You see the exact shape of Florida in the cloud. It's the exact same size, and I already have Florida right over here. So, I mean, then you got the weather patterns that point to this stuff so much, that the impacts, it shows the circles all over the Earth. Not very well on Google Earth anymore, but right here, I showed you that the other day. I brought that weather pattern in my last video. I brought it over here where I have Copernicus overlaid. Let's just get down there and turn that on. I want you to take a good look. You need to start looking at this yourself, I'm telling you. You really want to know, flip over a lunar image like this, and then go just take an image like this, put it on the Earth somewhere, overlay it in the Pacific Ocean. Make sure you flip the image first, and just put it there, make it big, and just leave it there and title it moon, reverse moon image in the Pacific, or whatever you want, and just leave it there. And then every once in a while, when you see a weather pattern that looks familiar, yeah, be familiar with what it looks like first, so you know what the shapes are in the moon print, so you're a little bit familiar, and then just watch the weather on the Earth every day, and you will see weather patterns that will become familiar to you, and you'll say, "Oh, look at that weather pattern. I bet you that'll fit in there. Let's check it out." Then you go over to that pattern. You turn your pattern on. You go over here. You click it on, right? You click that pattern on. Say, "Okay, there's my moon image. Let's get that other image." I'm not very good at titling things, so bear with me for a minute. Okay, I gotta find it's right here somewhere. There it is. Okay, so I take that image and I put it with the Copernicus overlay there that I have in the ocean, and I see the same shape and pattern pretty much right there. See the V? Okay, that's not. I knew that pattern when I seen it. As soon as I seen it, I knew it would fit there. So that meant that this pattern fits here, and I have other patterns from the weather that fit here, from the North Pacific over here. I've showed those before. Over here, actually, up here. You'll see Copernicus' print here and over here in the Indian Ocean, right over here. I've shown you that. I mean, right now I'm gonna try to find some other Copernicus overlays that I've done in this spot. Let's just see how they fit, because I haven't even checked that yet. Let's just see how they go with this area. Perfect Copernicus pattern. And it may say perfect, but they're not always perfect. But you see the same shit. Let's look at right in the center. Same shape. That's just one. I got other ones. Not that one. Perfect Copernicus pattern. Look at right there. Look how it falls right in the same spot. Look at that. I lined this up by itself. I didn't line that picture up to this picture of this weather in India. I didn't line those two together. I didn't put it together. We're looking at this for the first time. So you see what happens when I turn on this image here? That I haven't even associated it with this picture yet. And when I turn it on, what falls right into place? You see that's the exact same shape and everything, right? It falls right into place. Everything else may not fall right into place right away, but it will eventually. Okay, it will one way or another. If you're in the right place, it will. You'll see things like that happen all the time. All the time. Let's see what other ones I got. Here we go. Perfect Copernicus again. Oh, look at that one. Let's see where that is. Oh, look at that. Right in the center. That's really interesting. See what I mean? Okay, now I'm gonna show you a little bit more. Look at this up here. Look at this part right here. And look at this area that's clear right here. Look at the clouds. See how the clouds are the same right there in that area? And see, it changed. I'm telling you, the moon's hit the Earth, people. That's what it shows. Even if it hasn't, I'm at least showing you that the history of the Earth is showing you where continents used to be. Obviously, this area of the Earth in North America used to be together with this area of the Earth, the Indian Ocean, where these hot spots are. Basically, this is warm. These are high. I don't know how their legend is on this, but this is basically where you see the red. I'm saying those are where the hot areas are under the ocean, on the ocean floor. And this is what the ocean floor looks like in reality. I've been saying that for a long time. But you see the V shape. It's there. There's no getting around that. You cannot deny that. And basically, I would have never put them together without that lunar image, without the picture of the moon. Never. Would have never put it together. Wouldn't have even had a reason to. Would not have even had a reason to, because I don't really care, or I never did care really about how the Earth was put together. It never mattered to me. I didn't really care until I started doing this and found out that the moon hit the Earth, and then I started realizing that, well, if that's the case, then everything that we're told basically is a fat lie. And do they know about the lie? Have I checked to see if they know? Oh yeah, they know. They know. NASA knows. Put it this: you want to believe NASA tells you the truth about half the stuff that. I mean, you want to believe that the size they tell you is correct and all that, but then again, you don't want to believe the other half of the things they say. That's stupid. That's dysfunctional. That is totally dysfunctional to act that way. To believe half of what somebody says and not the other half. You can't do that. It doesn't work. If they're lying, they're lying. And if it's over something that will show them where things are on this planet Earth, like gold and precious metals or whatever, they will not tell you. And that's why they don't tell you from the beginning, from the very start, because they wanted to uncover the buried cities and the lost treasure that was buried during these impacts during past civilizations. I'm sure of that. I'm absolutely positive of that. As I watch things, I watch things all the time, and I realize that every day more and more, that that's why they don't tell you the truth. I mean, if there was anything left to discover, I wouldn't tell the truth either. I'd be out there exploring, looking for stuff. But I pretty much think they've uncovered enough of it. I'm not going to go diving in the deep ocean, or anything like like that. But I mean, people have. What about that in Egypt? Why is that city that city buried under, or why is it sunken under the Mediterranean? How could that be? What made that happen? An earthquake, you say, or something, or just the what rising seas? Well, I'm sure rising seas had something to do with it, but I'm sure this had something to do with it too. Things like this, and especially since they were saying it like the city was left, the stuff they were finding was from like 30 BC, and that right there, or 30th century BC. Yep. So that is just about the time that I know. I think the last one happened actually was right around the 30th century BC. Why do I think that? Because look at the science fiction novel, all the science fiction stories, how they almost all take place around that area. Sailor Moon, 30th century. They talk about it all the time. Who's going to destroy humanity? And they talk about the 30th century. And you look at it when all the civilizations like restarted was right after the 30th century. Most of the major civilizations right after that. Look at that print. I'm not wrong, people. I'm just saying. I've got so many more things. You don't judge me on one video. Just keep looking at some of the stuff and do that. You won't know it till you do it yourself. You won't believe it till you do it yourself. It puts everything so together. It is just unbelievable. It's hard for me to believe too sometimes. You know what I mean? But I know what I see, so I mean, I believe what I see, and I know, and it would be so difficult for them to actually put something together that would predict my every. I guess they could. They could make it like a puzzle that just works out that way to keep you chasing your tail. I don't know. I mean, I mean, it sound like a hypocrite saying that you can't believe NASA, because this stuff is from NASA and the Navy and all these guys, NOAA, the sister agencies. They're all sister agencies. So, I mean, but I'm telling you, it would be difficult. All the weather would have to be a lie, first of all, and it would be very difficult for them to predict where I'm putting something. And I'll tell you what, I don't have any times anymore when I put a pattern down and it does not fit, where I was like, oh, I guess I was wrong, doesn't fit. That does not happen anymore. Because when I see it, I won't even save it unless I know pretty much that it's going to fit somewhere. I mean, I see the pattern, recognize it, save it, and then I'll use that image, and it'll, once I put it right, once I use it, it usually goes right in place. I mean, almost always. Like 95% of the time at least. Or I'll come back to it and figure it out later, and I'll get it. You know, I'll remember it, and something else will bring it up, and it will fit. Anyways, I gotta go. Just take a look at things, people. I mean, you want the truth, there it is. I mean, it's up to you to see it now. That's all there is to it. Later.